No South Connection. Welcome to the most extreme menage a trois of violence you'll ever experience here on the Extreme Three-Way Dance podcast, taking you through the history of ECW on the North South Connection. And we are simulcast on video and audio on all podcast applications on the North South Connection, video on YouTube. Suggest you check out everything we have to offer. Hopefully you enjoyed WrestleMania. We had a lot of cool content leading up to the show, and so a lot of it's evergreen too. The post show is obviously still pretty fresh. We had some kind of classic Mania content that is worth going back to revisit. So check that out. And also be sure to stay with us all throughout 2025 as we are paying tribute to 1995 with No So 95. It's been 30 years and we're covering the best in history of wrestling, pop culture, and sports from that year. All of us have been doing some content on that. And actually, the three of us kicked off that project, which is pretty cool. So we got some cool stuff cooking throughout the rest of the year. Stay with us on top of everything else that we churn out here on the No So. All right, I am with Matt. I am with Jenny. How are you both doing tonight?
I'm good. I didn't get the memo about the shirts. So, I mean, hopefully people are watching and they're like, something's different about the show.
Look, we're celebrating a new year. We went with like a nice light blue to...
Look, everybody says how much me and JT look alike, so... Everybody says
so you got bumped to the second chair. So I mean, congratulations!
Finally,
she's not bitter or anything.
Not at all.
Yeah, maybe it's just me and Matt are celebrating.
Not my spot or anything. I mean,
maybe we're just celebrating Easter a few days later with our Cadbury color shirts.
The devout Catholic I am. That must be it.
Yes, he's known for it. He's known for Easter.
Yeah.
When I think Sousa, I think Rising from the Dead.
Yeah.
ECW has not risen from the dead, but we are talking about its final year here as we enter 2000. Crazy enough, the 7th year that we're covering in ECW history. We started in February of 94, and here we are in its final calendar year. We'll be covering 3 episodes of television to kick off 2000, and we're going to start with January 1st, 2000, and that is Hardcore TV. Joey's in the nest. He welcomes us in. Wishes us a happy new year, hypes up January 7th in Atlanta, and January 9th for Guilty as Charged in Birmingham. We get our opening animation. Joey's in the nest tells us that we will see Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka from TNN live in full later tonight. But we're going to start in the ring with our opening match. And it's been a minute, honestly, since we've been able to do this. But why don't we start hot? Little Guido makes his way out, so that means it is time for our Italian lesson of the week. And given that Matt and company just finished celebrating Easter, today's lesson is going to be entitled Pasqua.
Pasqua.
Pasqua. Pasqua. Pasqua.
It is Easter in Italian, of course. It's one of the country's major holidays, as you would anticipate. Easter in Italy enters Holy Week, Palm Sunday. I've heard of Holy Thursday. Apparently there it's called Maundy Thursday. I've never heard of Maundy Thursday. Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and then Easter Day on Sunday and Easter Monday, each day with a special significance. Of course, it is known as Holy Week. Traditional Italian dishes for Easter are abbacchio, capello de prete, castiello, colomba di Pasqua, penia, pizza de Pasqua, and pizzella.
I think you just put a curse on me.
That is your whole... No, I didn't give you a stink eye. No Malacca. We already covered the Malacca.
We did.
Of course, it's observed in parts of southern Italy, notably Sicily for Holy Week. The most famous Holy Week is in Trapani, coming in with Processione di Misteri dei Trapani, which is a parade procession through Sicily, honoring, of course, the rising of Christ on Easter Sunday. And in Italy, Easter Monday is an official public holiday, unlike here in the pagan country of the United States, where Monday is not considered a holiday, the day after Easter, which always kind of stunk as a kid,
Yeah.
For me, I don't know about you guys, like we don't really do a ton for Easter anymore like it used to be, but growing up, it was like a big deal. I mean,
same.
Girls had the bonnets, and you were all dressed up, and go to one grandparents, go to the other grandparents. My one grandmother would actually cook rabbit on Easter, so we would have rabbits, and of course Easter ham was the more traditional dish.
Fucking bunny drops off the eggs and then you cook them. What's the matter with you?
Bitch. And that she gave him the Malacchio, and that's so that would say because you'd be be out kind of later, usually do like an Easter egg hunt at one of the houses, and then that's it. You're getting up and trudging back to school or later to work the next day. Sometimes here it coincides with April vacation. Like a lot of times, Good Friday would kick off like vacation week for, I think for this year here, it ends it. So like vacations leading into Easter, because Easter was pretty late, obviously. So anyway, any questions about Pasqua, or we want to continue on?
No, I just like how your Italian accent comes out when you read the Italian words.
You said a lot of Italian words there.
I do what I can to make it authentic. Authentic as Olive Garden.
Yeah.
All right, Guido and Sal are in the ring, and out comes Super Calo. We get our intros. We get going with some chain work leading to a paced-up flurry of counters. Near falls and a reset. Guido lands some kicks. Calo takes over with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, stomps away. It's a top rope drop kick. Guido bails outside. Calo fakes a springboard plancha. Guido scurries to Sal, and Calo barrels into him with a dive off the top rope. After a break, Sal has Calo on a table. At ringside, puts him through with an elbow off the apron. They get to pop. Sal puts Calo back inside. Guido hits the Maritato and gets the win. Not much to see here. Thanks to the break. I thought Sal, that spot was awesome. Nice to see Guido get a pretty easy, clean win. Calo hasn't really gotten cooking in ECW just yet. They kind of hyped up his arrival, but it feels like, is this a guy that's sticking around?
Yeah.
And, Guido just squashed him, and Guido usually doesn't really squash anybody.
Yeah.
I went star and a quarter, Jenny, on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see him, and I always like when Sal does a great table break, but yeah, poor Super Calo. I feel like he's
Jerry Callow, not Gallo.
he's had like 2 matches, I think, and lost both of them. So, that's fine, I guess. Star and a half, Maddie.
Yeah, I went star and a half on it too. I love that they treated Calo as this huge get that he jumped over, and he's been fucking squashed like the 3 times he's been on TV.
Like, all these guys are hanging out in WCW. This is the one we picked, and then we bury him.
Like he's the fucking second coming of Randy Savage, and then he loses 3 minutes to Guido on a New Year's Day episode of TV. Jesus Christ. The Sal bump was great, but yeah, I mean, the rest of this was just not much. Good win for Guido, but yeah, it was basically just a showcase for him. Nothing more than that.
It was a buon Pasqua for Guido with this win for sure. All right, we stay in the ring for our next match as CW Anderson is on the scene to take on Kentaro Kanamura. After a break, we get quite the crew. We got Louis Dangerously. It says some fans think this is a tribute to Paulie Dangerously, but he would never pay tribute to him because he sucks and he's a loser, just like the fans in New York. Lou reminds us of his name. The crowd is all over him with the "You Suck Dick" chant. And apparently we find out in full tribute to the new Dangerous Alliance, Wild Bill Wiles is now being known as Beautiful Billy. So we have the Enforcer, CW Anderson, and Beautiful Billy. Of course, tribute to the Enforcers, Arn Anderson, and Beautiful Bobby Eaton. Kanamura is from FMW, gets a nice reception. We come backstage where Steve Corino and Jack Victory with Rhino, they issue threats to Sandman for their match coming at guilty as charged, and promise to kick the fuck out of him. When we come back to the ring, the match is on. Louis trips up Kanamura, which allows CW to level him with a huge super kick for 2. CW unloads some strikes and a swinging neck breaker for 2. Joey mocks the new Dangerous Alliance as Wiles lands some punches to Kanamura. He counters a pile driver. CW goes low. Kanamura counters a whip, hits back elbow in the corner. CW comes back with a spine buster for 2. Kanamura counters with a suplex and gets decked by Wiles. CW comes firing out. Kanamura ducks. He nails Wiles. Then he kicks low. Slams CW. Hits a top rope senton for the win. Again, not much here. It's another express lane match. I thought Kanamura had a nice finish, but not much else really. CW looks fine, but it's being portrayed as a comedy act more than anything, and a low card at that. And the tradition of Damian Kane and many others before them, they're kind of our low card act here, Maddie. So I want a star and a half. Again, it was fine. And, for the new guys, Kalo and Kanamura have not really lit the world on fire here.
Yeah, I actually only went a star on this. All the interference bullshit bugged the hell out of me. And it's like, just wrestle a match. Like, you don't need Bobby Eaton. I mean, Bill Wiles, excuse me. He's confused the two. Like, you didn't need all his interference in this, 4-minute match. So that kind of bugged the hell out of me. And I don't know, it was just kind of messy at points too. I thought the finish was kind of weak. So yeah, this was a whole lot of nothing for me. So 1 star.
1 star for you. All right. I liked it a little bit better. I I don't know. I like the idea of a Dangerous Alliance like spoof kind of idea. Not a spoof really. I mean, I guess it's kind of
Yeah, it's like a
comical,
new
but
Yeah.
it's not.
PWO, just not as ridiculous.
That's what my point for this
Timu Dangerous Alliance.
was
Yes.
gonna be. We've seen acts like this that actually really get over time. So maybe it
It
would be
tells
the
me this one may
same
not, but
for
we'll see.
them. I don't know. Could be. I like the Spine Buster. I thought that was pretty good. And
Yeah, he does a good job with that.
Yeah.
Beautiful Billy is pretty funny. I mean, that's pretty good. And I don't know. I enjoyed it a touch more. I did the Gentleman's 2 stars.
All right. Joey's in the nest. Takes us to clips of Balls Mahoney and New Jack versus DeBaldies from earlier tonight, where Jack put Grimes through a table with a crazy balcony dive. After a break, we get the end of the tag match where Balls bashes DeVito with a chair, but Angel came in from behind, fired staples into Balls' face to get the win. So we don't really see much besides that. But yet again, the Baldies seem to always get the best of New Jack and whoever he's got running with him. Paulie hypes Guilty as Charged 2000. The card, as it stands today, is Angel versus New Jack, Tajiri and a mystery partner versus Super Crazy and a mystery partner, Sandman versus Rhino, Rob Van Dam versus Sabu, Impact Players versus Tommy Dreamer and Raven, and Mike Awesome versus Spike Dudley. I do want to get thoughts on the card, but let's save it for the end.
Okay.
We'll kind of see what plays out over the next few weeks of TV here or episodes, and then we'll go from there. We then get the full Awesome Tanaka TNN match, including the post-match of Spike. So we get the whole shebang. Paul then narrates an ECW title history video package, covers every title change in the company, which
pretty
I mean, it's
cool.
not a ton, but it's everyone.
Yeah,
It's a nice video. Like
Yep.
it was a nice refresher for me too.
And Matt pointed out earlier, right? This is a New Year's Day episode. It did air at night, but it's a Saturday night, New Year's Day. Like a lot of people are probably out and about. So I think it was fine to kind of, those that are there, you catch them up with the Awesome Tanaka, and then you do this cool little video package. Like you don't really need a ton of fresh stuff on the show. And they obviously didn't want to burn anything on a holiday episode. And which they did on TNN. Like they went whole hog on New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve. So like it makes sense that they kind of dial back a little bit here. Spike is backstage. He says Awesome has a problem. He was too violent for the Dudleys and never missed a match due to injury. He gets hit with chairs, put through tables, thrown off of balconies, put through double burning tables, but he gets up and fights the next night. At Guilty as Charged, he doesn't care if he wins or loses. He'll do what he does best, wrestle extreme, and he will hurt Mike Awesome. This was a great promo. It added a lot of legitimacy and heat to the title match, gives some insights to Spike's mentality. He's clearly enraged with what Awesome did. So, this is like, we don't usually get a lot of talking from Spike. He's always just kind of been out there, spaced out and getting thrown around or snapping down big guys. So we needed something like, so Awesome's attack. And now this promo definitely put some intrigue into what looks to be the nominal main event for Guilty as Charged, Matt.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think they they already did something with Awesome fucking crushing his girlfriend, but you needed to see something out of like serious Spike Dudley more than just like the not talking or some of the not serious stuff he does. So I like that it's a short promo, but it was damn good. And like, it's pretty clear he can obviously talk. So yeah, it was really good. Like, give me more of this from Spike when there's like some sort of real feud going on, when he's not, running around the ring and killing, Sal in 10 seconds or whatever. So yeah, I really enjoy this. It's something that I think this feud needed, Jenny.
Absolutely. I think Justin said it in our last episode. We're like one good Spike promo away from like really heating up this for the pay-per-view. And I agree. And this was it. And he's super cute. I'm sorry. Why have we not had him on tons of promos? He can talk. He looks good.
He's an English teacher. Not a shock. He can talk.
I mean,
really.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But this is great. Like this is exactly what we needed. And he's really stepping up. Like at first we were like, oh fuck, we're doing this shit, and now we're kind of excited. So that's nice.
He's just never been presented that way. And if all those attacks on the big guys are building him up for this moment, I'll take back some of what I said.
Right.
I don't know if that was the plan the whole time.
I bet you Joey will have a montage of him doing that.
Yeah.
Or he'll at least name them all. Yeah.
Right.
I never minded him taking out the one-offs. It was always kind of the push guys that bothered me, But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. And no, he can definitely talk. And we needed something like this, right? Because his look is a little off, right? He's a tiny little guy. Like, so you need some kind of hook to sell your main event. When Mike Awesome is, destroying dudes like Tanaka and others, like you need a reason and beat Taz, right? So you need a reason to think someone like Spike Dudley has a chance. So
Right.
we'll see. And giving him a personal vendetta makes that more likely, right? All right, best match: Anderson and Nakamura.
Can I go Awesome Tanaka again?
I know, right? Yeah, worst match as Guido Colo. I mean, whatever. They're both pretty interchangeable.
Yeah, they were the same basically for the most part.
Best moment: I went the New Jack balcony dive. Even though we didn't really see it happen live, it was more of like a recap. But
I went with Spike's promo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Spike as well.
All right. Most 2000s, I went with the concept of like new tag teams. So the new Dangerous Alliance, new Midnight Express, new this and that. Right.
God, I'm not used to hearing most 2000s yet.
Well, no, most 2000. I want to keep it. It's only going to be the most like, so it's still kind of 90s because as we know, usually a new decade doesn't like reset the pop culture and trends until a couple years in. So it is most 2000. We'll say pre 9/11.
Okay. There you go.
Right. Draw a line. Never mind. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't think there was too many 2000 things on this show.
No.
I mean, there wasn't much of anything on this show, to be perfectly honest. But
Stock Rising went Sal, the Baldies, Spike, Falling, Colo, New Dangerous Alliance.
Jack off the balcony, he fell off of it.
I give this a 5 out of 10. I mean, it's one of those ones where, like, if you're going to grade our feelings on it, it's probably a lot lower, but you have to factor in Awesome Tanaka.
Right.
And I think as an argument, you could say this is even higher because if you hadn't seen TNN and this is like what you're watching, I mean, over half the show is that match. So it's like, it's probably a great episode for some people. For us and the purpose of what we do here, like we usually split the difference on these and, kind of say, all right, well, I usually do anyway, throw the 5 out and say, okay, I understand that they had that great match, but the rest was a whole bunch of nothing. Like you could have not, for the 3 of us, the way we're doing this, we could have just not watched this and been fine.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Totally.
I would agree. I'm at 5 on it.
Yeah, I went the standard 5 on it.
We didn't even get like the throwaway Impact Players promo. Like, that's how you know this is a real.
That was a welcome. That was a welcome.
Once you know it's a Trashman episode, like we didn't even get that. Like usually they at least put them on backstage doing their stupid shit, but it's like we didn't even get that. So, all right, let's go to TNN. January 7th, 2000. We open with the final 5 minutes from last week. So Awesome Tanaka and the post match. We got our opening animation. Joey and Joel are in the nest. They kick off the show. We hype up Guilty as Charged. They run down the card. We get that same history package that we just talked about from Hardcore TV. We then get the Spike promo. We then go to Mike Awesome and Judge Jeff Jones. They issue their final payback warnings to Spike for the pay-per-view. Awesome says he knocked out Spike's girlfriend and put her teeth down her throat, and Spike will be next. The Impact Players are then in the stairwell. Here you go. They're talking about Credible's match with Dreamer. Dawn mocks Tommy's fat ass. Storm says Credible passes Tommy's star tonight. Incredible says he wants to win on his own, and he tells Storm not to get involved in the match, Jenny. So what do you think? Any thoughts on the Awesome and Jones promo and then the Impact Players?
Yeah, no remorse on Mike.
No mercy.
Part. Didn't give any fucks that he killed that lady. And stupid players, but I do like it when people make fun of Tommy's ass.
That is a running joke.
I did kind of pop for that. It's kind of good. She's the best part of them for me anyway. So yeah, I mean pretty light on content right now.
I think it was either Jeff Jones or Mike Awesome. One of them called Spike's girlfriend an inbred rat, which is just a hell of a line.
Well, everything Awesome says and does is better if you assume that CTE broke his brain in like September, because he wasn't really like this before we won the title. Like he was kind of crazy when he pop in and out, but since he's become champion, he's like next level insane. And I just see everything through like he's like Antonio Brown on Twitter to me. He's just like completely broken human.
Just showing his hog on Instagram and shit.
He was still around, he maybe.
And tell me if you've heard this. Just Incredible doesn't want help from Lance Storm, you guys. No. I wonder what's gonna happen later on tonight.
That's an incredible point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, back to the ring we go for tag action, and it's a 3-way dance. It says Nova and Kid Cash taking on Dangerous Danny Doring and Amish Roadkill and the Dups. We come back from break, and we're underway. All 6 guys are brawling in the ring. Nova and Cash clean house until Roadkill hits the Dirt Road Slam on Nova. Cash is able to send Roadkill over the top of the Rana and then flies into everyone else on the floor with a somersault plancha. Roadkill teases a top rope dive. Everyone scatters. Roadkill then catches Cash on a springboard, and Doring hits the heart attack. All 6 pour back in the ring and brawl again, but Roadkill gets tossed over the top through a table by one of the Dups. Nova and Cash double up on Doring. The Dups make the save and batter Nova. Doring yanks Cash to the floor. Roadkill levels the Dups with a springboard double clothesline. Roadkill squishes the Dups with an avalanche, and then Nova hits Roadkill with a tornado DDT. Bo cuts down Nova with a big kick, but Puck hits him by accident, and Doring and Nova come off the top with splashes to eliminate the Dups. Roadkill slams Nova, and Doring hits a top rope leg drop. Roadkill goes up, but Cash crotches him. He falls to the floor. Cash eats a boot on a charge, fires away, and gets a top rope Rana on Doring. Cash flies into Roadkill with a tope as Nova hits a frog splash on Doring, but Elektra comes in and makes the save. Out comes Jazz. She takes out Elektra and hammers away to a big pop. Simon Diamond is there. He carries Jazz away as Chetty gets in the ring, checks on Elektra. She slaps Chetty, so Chetty kisses her, drags her out of the ring into the back with her ass hanging out. Nova gets shoved hard to the floor. Roadkill and Doring finish Cash with an inverted Vegematic, and we are done. I think this is pretty fun. I definitely had a breakneck pace, and it went about how you would expect based on the pecking order. Cash looked good. He should be a fast riser once he gets going. Elektra is a good addition too. This is basically like your low card showcase. I was actually surprised, Maddie, that they had this on TNN. This all felt very much like a hardcore TV segment. The way they've been building these shows lately, like TNN feels like it's got more of the big players, and hardcore usually has like the low mid card. So I was actually pretty shocked to see this all on TNN taking up this much time. So I went 2 1/4. It was fine. It was typical ECW, one thing flowing to the next.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. It was perfectly fine for what it was. I went 2 on it. I was confused. I didn't realize this was an elimination match until one of the teams was
always in ECW. Always.
I know. You'd think I'd know that by now, but here I am not knowing it. Also, apparently, Chris Chetty has like poison ivy lips because after he kissed Elektra, she just fucking passed out and had to be carried out. So that's a new wrinkle to Chris.
Maybe
Chetty's
he can be
character.
Medusa in the new Dangerous Alliance.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
That's when they turn to stone,
That's a new wrinkle to Chris Chetty's character I wasn't expecting, but
also like the boas and stuff. I feel like Medusa used to wear that.
Right. He's going to get Uma Thurman to manage him at the pay-per-view. But also very surprised that the Dups are still here. Didn't have that on my bingo card that they'd be around for as long.
I didn't even know they were in ECW.
Neither did I, but here they still are. So yeah, I mean, it was chaotic in a good way, but it was, to your point, I think this was something that probably would have been on hardcore TV, but it was perfectly fine here. So, and I like them getting a spot on TNN, like in the national spotlight. So that was good too. So 2 stars for me, Jenny.
I like specifically Cash getting this spot on TNN because he looked awesome. He's flying all over the place. I loved him in this match. He makes me miss TNA. So that's weird. I liked all the run-ins. It's fun. They did them well. They were timed well, and the cat fight was fun. Chetty was weird. I could have missed that, but yeah, not sure what his deal is. But I think that Doring and Roadkill are one of those acts that was a throwaway act and has now gotten over. And there is hope for the new Dangerous Alliance in my mind. So I'm going to go 2.5 chickens. Mm-hmm.
They need chickens and they need tits. That's how Doring and
that's what they.
And they need a Danaconda. They don't have the Danaconda. There's a lot going against them.
That's the triangle in the Dangerous Alliance. Danaconda.
Well, they need time.
Chicken and tits.
We don't know them yet. They might have something.
Yeah.
Chickens. All right, Joey runs down a Great American Bash. Guilty as charged card. Gives a plug for the website and then gives details for the meet and greet at Home Depot, the grand opening in Birmingham next Saturday. Also gives details on how to get a merchandise catalog and the newest ECW magazine.
Come meet Chris Chetty in the vinyl siding aisle of Home Depot.
They'll help you pick out a stove later. All right, back to the ring we go. Tommy Dreamer taking on Just Incredible. This is a Stairway to Hell ladder match.
Oh boy! Okay.
Francine and Tommy stalk to the ring. This is our main event. Credible and Jason are already there. Joey talks about Tommy saw his first wrestling show in this building with his father, who's currently suffering from Parkinson's. How Tommy's dad is a good man that works with disadvantaged kids, and that's why Tommy always wears the white hat, even in this era of the anti-hero. Tommy gets a huge hometown pop, gets emotional during intros. We get a replay of Raven's crucifixion from last week. When we come back, Credible and Jason storm out of the ring. Down the aisles, Tommy stands stoically. Joel says they're trying to take Tommy's hometown moment away from him. Tommy pops up and power walks to the stage to catch up with his rivals, hammers away to both with a pop. Tommy shoves Credible off the stage into the railing, batters him all the way to the back to the ring. Tommy sets up a ladder bridge, but Credible recovers and crotches Tommy on the railing, hammers away, slaps him with a cup from the crowd. Tommy throws Credible to a ladder bridge, throws it into the ring. Tommy hammers away against the railing, heads back inside, sets up the ladder on the top turnbuckle. After a quick series of counters, Tommy hits a spine buster, kicks him in the balls on a float over. Credible reverses a whip and throws Tommy into the ladder, hits a super kick. Joey reminds us Tommy's got those herniated discs as Credible sits him on the top rope and then wedges the ladder under him. Credible tries a superplex, but Tommy reverses and spikes Credible into the ladder with a gourd buster. Tommy leg drops Credible's nuts and then slingshots Credible up into the ladder and a nice bump. Tommy puts Credible on the top rope, sets up the ladder underneath them, scales it, but Credible slugs him back, and Tommy slips through the gaps and crotches himself on the rung, as always. Just to make sure his testicles take a beating. Credible stomps away, grabs a chair from Jason. He sets the chair open and drop toe holds Tommy into the back of it for 2. That was pretty gross looking. Credible stands up a ladder in the corner, rides it down into Tommy. Credible puts the ladder in the corner, but Tommy reverses a whip and shoots him hard into it. Credible flies over the top into the floor. Tommy follows out, drags Credible back inside, puts the ladder on Credible's shoulders, tries to jam it to the mat, but Credible kicks free, sets the ladder across the top turnbuckle. Credible slowly goes to the middle rope, but Tommy loads him on his shoulders, drops him across the ladder. Tommy shoves Credible to the mat in the corner, puts the ladder between his legs and cracks it with the chair to drive it into his balls. Credible's writhing as Tommy scales the ladder and grabs the cane. Tommy stalks Credible, but Jason comes in, hits an enziguri and stomps away. In comes Francine. She goes low on Jason and gives him a Bronco Buster. Credible loads Francine for a tombstone, but Dreamer canes him to make the save. Tommy loads the pile driver on the ladder, but Lance Storm is in. Hits a springboard clothesline. Dawn's in right behind him. She's cheering on Storm, but in comes Raven. He yanks Storm into the post. Francine gets in the ring to a big pop. We get the cat fight with Dawn. Tommy loads Dawn to a pile driver, but Credible makes the save. Tommy ducks a cane shot, but Credible drills him in the back and the head with the cane and finishes him off with That's Incredible to win the match. I thought this is red hot. I mean, I thought it was a load of violent offense. I thought the crowd was cooking. They saved all the story shit for the end, so I didn't think it derailed much. It just kind of all peppered in at the last minute and then ended. It was a great final dose of heat for the pay-per-view with these guys and the tag titles. Raven again does the right thing, but the Impact players powered through and ruined Tommy's homecoming. I thought this was good, Jenny. I thought it was violent. It was stiff. Just a fun match. I had a purpose. This wasn't violence for violence sake. I thought like they built a feud. The violence made sense, and it was hard-hitting. Wasn't gratuitous. I actually went 3 3/4. Like I really liked this match. I thought it really resonated. Tommy's hometown, like all of it played off well.
I think this is one of Tommy's kind of best in a while.
Mm-hmm.
He's like low key really good at ladder matches. Like I don't know, I thought he was really good at this, and the use of the ladders is really on point. I think initially I was a little thrown off by the commentary about Dreamer's dad, and he has Parkinson's and he teaches disadvantaged children. That was a little like out of left field. So, and then, you know, he's crying in the ring, and I guess I was surprised at Tommy's ability to get down to business in the match because it seemed overwrought in the beginning with a lot of emotions. So I thought that he might fall victim to that, but he really, you know, his testicles aside, he ends up getting the cane. I mean, he does lose, but a lot of shit had to happen for him to lose. I felt like he owned most of this match, as he should have. I want a Bronco Buster from Fran. I mean, Jason was lucky in that spot.
Should have asked her at WrestleCon.
I know, I should have.
Next time.
The cat fight again was good. predictable ending, I think, maybe here, but I ended up really liking it too and did 3.5.
Yeah, I'm a little bit lower than you, but I still enjoyed it. I went 3.25 on it. It is a very good match, and to your point, it is, especially considering Dreamer's been stuck with Raven for a while. It is like his best singles match in what feels like a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think they had a Stairway to Hell match at one of the pay-per-views previously.
Yeah.
And I think I like that one better too than this one, but it's still really good. This one felt more TNN-ified. Like it was still violent, but it was like a TNN type of violence,
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like if this match had happened like a year earlier, it would have been bloody as all hell if it was on like hardcore TV. But still, they did the best with the limitations that.
Yeah, I thought it was hard hitting.
Yeah,
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 no,
I did
for
too.
sure.
Like,
Yeah. So, and the finish, to your point, Jenny, was very predictable. Oh, weird! Lance Storm interfered. Who could have possibly seen that coming? What? But I mean, it all made sense given where we're going at the pay-per-view. So, and I didn't mind Dreamer losing either because it's the Heat. They do all that stuff at the beginning, and then he loses in like in front of his fucking hometown crowd. It makes perfect sense to build heat. So,
well, at the same time, it makes me confused because we thought that the stupid players were going to end up with the belts at the pay-per-view. Now I don't know.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I don't know. Do we do something else with Raven and Dreamer? Keep it going.
Yeah. I mean, if they're going to do something else with Dreamer and Raven, I feel like they either A, they need to do it soon, or B, they should have done it already because they've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, I mean,
what I mean?
I've enjoyed the story. Like, especially, I'm curious. Again, I think the big question, and I have no idea where it's going. I think the big question is like, is Raven playing mind games to take Francine from Dreamer, or is he being earnest and he's trying to, break through these demons that his father and Sandman have put in his head, and he is trying to be a good person. Like, he's not fucking with Tommy.
Yeah.
He's trying to do the right thing, right? So I'll be curious where that heads. Yeah, I would assume the Impact players are taking the tag belts. Like, I would assume that.
Yeah, that would be my guess too.
And they have to. I think they have to win at this point. Like, if they don't, I don't know what you're doing. Like, you've built the shit out of them for like a year and a half now, pretty much.
Yeah.
Credible's been 2 years dominant since he debuted in the end of '97. Like, at some point, you got to pull the trigger and make them your top acts. So we'll see.
Yeah.
My hope is for a short reign.
Yeah.
Well, and the
I
other
got
thing,
my money on the Dangerous Alliance, you guys.
look, I mean, you see how these guys are too. Like, you got to figure one of the companies is coming calling at some point, right? Like, anyone who's getting over is going to get the call.
Yeah.
Impact players have to be getting calls too, like if they haven't already.
Yeah.
To be up, with the act that they got going on. So.
Yeah. So I mean, it is a good match. I did like it, and as predictable as the finish was. So 3.25 for me.
All right, Carino, Victory, and Rhino's locker room promo from Hardcore TV, and then Joey gives the hard sell for the pay-per-view. Best match for me, obviously, and I think all of us, was Dreamer Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Worst match was that tag, three-way tag.
Yeah.
Yep.
Best moment, I went Tommy's hometown intro. I thought it seemed special to him, especially with his dad being sick and everything.
Yeah.
Most 2000s, there wasn't a lot, or most 2000, there wasn't a lot here. I just went with the Dups. They're very 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this is a tough category.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Chetty does look like if 2000 was a person, so give it to him.
Yeah, he looks like he'd be on TRL. Like,
oh, totally. He's like a background dancer in a Ricky Martin video or something.
All right, Rising. I went Doring and Roadkill, Dreamer, Credible. They all had good nights.
Cash as well.
Yeah, I would add Cash for sure.
Falling, I went Pucked Up and Tommy's Nuts, which just
absolutely
get crushed left and right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I might be an outlier in this. I went 8 out of 10 in this episode. Like, we started with the video package again. A lot of hype. The tag we liked enough, and then I love that main event. So like, again, for a 40-minute TV episode of wrestling, like there's not a ton more you could do. Besides like a title change or some kind of big major angle, but if you're putting this on a Friday on TNN, like I think they're really clicking right now on TNN. Like, these last few have been really, really good. They seem to have a vision for what they want their TVs to be. TNN's kind of the big shit happens. Hardcore TV, we kind of replay the big stuff and then give some spotlight time to like the lower card guys to get some matches, which I think is fine. Like, you gotta, you have the time. Like, this way everyone gets some shine, and it's a good way to present them. So
A spot that I didn't call out on that tag match that I absolutely meant to. Credible had Francine upside down, about to hit her, and she spread her legs, and Tommy caned him in.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So that might be my moment. But yeah, it's a fun episode. It really hurts my feelings that it's on TNN. I feel this is opposite of how it should be. But I get 8 out of 10.
Gonna go to the bigger audience.
Yeah.
Don't care.
I went 7.5 on it.
All right. So our last episode is really just a standard pre-pay-per-view hype.
Mhm.
So I'm going to buzz through it quick, and then we'll talk about the pay-per-view. January 8th, 2000, Hardcore TV. Joey's in the nest as his guilty as charged weekend, the first pay-per-view of the new millennium in wrestling, all of wrestling. Joey, or all of North American wrestling, I should say. I'm sure that January 4th. I don't know if that's technically a pay-per-view or whatever, but that Tokyo Dome show. Joey runs down the card. We got opening animation. We go through Crazy and Tajiri from New Year's Eve on TNN. We then have Joey hyping up RVD versus Sabu. We get their match from TNN November 26th. Joey then runs down the guilty as charged card again. Clips from the Ravens, clips showing Ravens crucifixion from TNN. Ooh, take out the Raven. Joey hypes New Jack and Angel. We then get clips in November to remember when New Jack put Angel through a table off the basketball hoop. Runs down the card again. We see Awesome Tanaka and Spike's attack from December 31st. We get the promos from both guys a week ago, and then Joey gives the hard sell. So no grades here. I threw the 5 out of 10 for the preview.
Yeah.
You get some great matches. Honestly, again, if you haven't seen those matches, this may be a 10 episode for you, because you get RVD Sabu, you get Awesome Tanaka, Crazy Tajiri. Like, you're seeing some classic stuff. So whatever. All right. So how hyped are we on this card? Like, how are we feeling going into this?
It feels very top heavy to me, and like I feel like there's 3 matches you could argue could go on last and like main event this show. Like, I could see Awesome and Spike main eventing on. I could see the tag title match honestly main eventing with how much TV time that's taken up, and even RVD Sabu I could definitely see main eventing. Even though I feel like RVD Sabu, the build for that just died like 3 weeks ago, and they didn't even fucking mention it at all in the last like 3 weeks. So that's kind of weird to me, but it is a very top heavy show. And I think at a bare minimum, like, I mean, I'm sure the tag title match will be good, but I think for sure RVD Sabu will deliver. And I think if they
Dream Partner tag has some potential too.
Yeah, that too. And I think if they give Awesome and Spike a decent more than 10 seconds, I think that could be really fun, just having Mike Awesome throw Spike around the ring for like 10 minutes or whatever. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious to see and New Jack and Angel, I think that'll be a wild brawl too. So but yeah, I'm very interested to see. The build was a little shaky, I mean, Awesome and Spike just got made like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, whatever it was. So and then again, like the RVD Sabu, there was just no build for that in the last like 3 weeks. So that's weird. But I do think on paper, it looks like it could be a really fun show.
Do you have any predictions for our mystery partners, or does fucking RVD finally lose again? Are you gonna put your money on any of that?
No, I don't know. I feel like the mystery partners, ECW doesn't ever really do mystery partners. They do like that dream partner.
Yeah.
And it usually just ends up being like people on the show. Like, so I'm not anticipating anything crazy there. No pun intended. I would say I will recuse myself from RVD because I know where things, and Matt does too. So
yeah,
we kind of know where things go with that.
Yeah.
Well, fuck y'all then. We all know what I want. I need Sabu to fucking win. So that's where I'm at on that. I think the tag stuff will be good. I'm really not looking forward to the outcome of that. Spike and Mike, those are rhyming names, and
yeah,
they I don't know. It could go either way, honestly. It could be bullshit or it could be really fun. So
if it goes like 15 seconds, JT is going to quit the podcast.
Probably so.
Well, if Spike wins, if Austin wins 15 seconds, I'm okay.
Right.
But I do think there's potential there because, like,
yes,
Yes, totally.
They're both good car crash guys, so you
Yes.
could get some real crazy shit. Like,
Mhm.
remember we were into like Bigelow Spike,
Yeah.
and this has similar vibes,
100%.
right? So like
Yes.
it's similar to that.
Yep.
That was like Spike. I feel like that was like Spike's first big guy thing.
Yeah. Yep.
So I do think there's some potential for this to be like a real crazy shit show.
I totally agree.
Yep.
We'll see which way. New Jack's gonna do some fucked up shit. That'll be fun.
Does he finally beat the Baldies? Like, I feel like the Baldies have owned him every.
Friggin' hope so. Jesus.
Yeah, I think he might just finally just shoot them. He might just finally shoot
I
somebody.
keep waiting for like Mustafa to show up. I feel
Oh,
like that's
that'd
the
be
end game for this whole
amazing.
thing.
I would pop
Yeah.
so hard.
I keep assuming he's coming because I feel like
Yeah.
whenever New Jack gets in these like gang feuds where like he's getting jumped all the time and
He
Yeah.
the
needs
numbers
to.
overwhelm him, I feel like Mustafa, last time we saw him though, he sold out. He sold
did.
out
Yeah.
for New Jack.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
right.
For the
Shit.
Dudleys for like $200.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Mustafa, the big.
Fuck. Forgot
Well, no, he
about
didn't sell.
that.
Actually, he was the one paying, right? He had all the money.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that's right.
He paid the Dudleys. Yeah,
Oh God.
it feels like decades ago.
Yeah.
What's your vibes, Jenny? Like, I know 99 you were kind of off and on with ECW. Only because it's not your like you loved like 95, 96,
Mhm.
even 97 with Waller and all that. Like, I feel like as they've gotten more, I don't call them mainstream, but more popular and TNN, like you've definitely wavered. How are you feeling going into 2000? Like knowing this is it, like what are you looking for to turn it around?
Well, if you listen to Scott Shiflett, I hate ECW and it's just miserable. But that is not the case. I just get so attached. Like I'm just so emotional about this stuff. And that's why I'm glad I have you guys because y'all can talk to me logically, and then I could just disregard that and just be emotional anyway. But some things do get through, right? And I feel conflicted. I feel very torn. I feel old school ECW, and this is new and scary to me in the year 2000. But I get it. Like they got bigger guys, they got a bigger platform, a lot of growth for the company. All that's great stuff. But you do lose something. You do lose something. I've witnessed it, and I might not have understood that had I not done this podcast.
Yeah, I think it's some beauty in the journey. Also, if you think of where wrestling is like at this time, I mean, it's bigger than ever.
Yeah.
The closest is probably like Rock and Wrestling, Hogan, 85, 80 to 87, or whatever.
Yeah,
But I mean, this is like huge right now. Like WWF is dominant. Like ratings are the highest they've ever been.
Like
WCW
I was even into wrestling in 2000.
Everyone was. I mean,
Yeah.
even people I meet today that are like, "Oh yeah, I watched then,"
Yeah.
So that's massive right now. So like they're feeding off of that, right? Like they're
Right.
just it's a time where wrestling is everywhere. There's movies about wrestling and there's documentaries everywhere about wrestling, and it's like everyone knows wrestling. Someone that's probably watching wrestling. It's probably the least time you heard, "Oh, it's fake." Like it didn't.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Even with WCW kind of in the shitter, at this point, like WWF is so red hot, and even ECW, like everyone's, and of course with that comes the bubble, right? So there's a million independents, there's a million backyard wrestling was huge at this time.
Yep.
Jackass is like getting started. It's like all of that stuff is like just big, right? At that point, just kind of kicking the shit out of people and breaking light tubes and everything else. So yeah, it's an interesting time, and ECW has this little niche here. I mean, there's a time in '95 where you could say ECW was like the best promotion.
Oh, 100%.
Right. And I think now you can honestly say week to week they're at least competitive with WCW, if not better, on a regular basis here.
Yeah.
In late '99 into 2000 so far.
Yeah.
You don't have to go much further than Logan and Schiff, right? Going through the Russo era of WCW.
Those poor bastards.
Like if you really want to deep dive this era, like you can listen to us and listen to that week by week, right? We're both covering everything from the same exact time period. And you can see the differences in what they each presenting, right? They're pulling their hair out, and we're like, oh, like fucking 5-star Mike Awesome Tanaka match,
Yeah.
Right.
So it's an interesting time. It's like they're bigger. more seen by more people than they've ever been. They have a video game, sound, CD,
Eh,
tapes, magazine, hotline, website. Like it's big,
I love to see it, and I hate to see it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at on it. Like, I'm just in for the ride of all of it, and
Mhm.
however that shakes out.
It's ending either way, that I can
Yes.
tell you. So
That's true. That's
it's ending in 12 months. So this is it.
I will do my best to not let my love die on camera. Okay.
We'll be with this a while. The pace we got going on here, like
Okay.
we got about 12 months of programming, but we'll be here at least another 14. It's gonna take us a while to get through it.
Right.
So
Right.
because there's a lot. We still have, all the
Mhm.
hardcores and the
Yeah.
TNNs for a while, plus the pay-per-views. All right. Well, I just want to do a quick State of the Union as we hit 2000 since this was a later episode. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with Guilty as Charged. Looking forward to that. Check out everything, like I said earlier, at the North-South Connection. Continue to stay extreme, and we'll see you soon. New year, new dangerous alliance.